Yeah, absolutely. I was 5 years old. I always had these questions, this big question mark within me. Um, okay, I see my dad, I see my mother. I look like neither of them. And here are my siblings. I don't look like any of them. And the big question was why? Why don't I look like any of you guys? You know, most of you have green eyes or blue eyes and you all have dark hair and I have blonde hair and brown eyes. Like what's going on here? I didn't even look like my nieces and nephews. And so, I went to snoop in my parents' room and I went in their dresser and I found this photo album. To my surprise, it was my baby album. And I'm going through, you know, each page and the first page had this photo of this beautiful baby. She's sitting up. She's probably maybe 9, 10 months old. And it's a vintage looking photo. So it looks identical to me, but I know it's not me. Right. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm, turning the page and I see the next page and it's this baby and this family. It's two adults and I believe it was two or three children. And it's a photo and there's a card next to it saying happy birthday. And I'm reading the words and it's to me. And it at the end it says, love your foster family. And then I'm seeing photos of me in the incubator with tubes going through my nose and oxygen mask and all of these tubes going in and out of me, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, obviously this is me. And, I'm looking at more things and immediately I knew that my parents that say that they're miracle baby aren't really my parents and that putting two and two together that I was adopted. And so I right there felt betrayed. I felt lied to. I felt like, oh my goodness, I've been calling these people my parents, but I don't understand why wouldn't they tell me the truth? So I take the photo album out to my mother and I'm like, what's this? And she's like, sit down. And her face just like if it looked like the life just sucked right out of her. And she went on to explaining that, that I was adopted. They were my great aunt and uncle. That my biological mother was murdered. And, she explained, her story, which was most of my family's story, that I was released from the hospital. My mom was excited. Biological mom was excited because, I was a premature baby. And so, of 3 months. And so I was in the hospital for 3 months trying to survive, trying to build my lungs and get off these feeding tubes, these oxygen tubes and all of this stuff, right? And so I was finally released and my mom was excited. She wanted to celebrate. She wanted, her baby girl finally, survived through the worst of it. Because, back then, doctors weren't hopeful. They didn't even want my mother to give me a name because they didn't think I was going to make it.